The end of November is coming fast like a freight train. As such, it means the second part of the Pokemon DLC, the Indigo Disk, is a mere 3 weeks away. And before you know it, December 1st will roll around. It will be socially acceptable to listen to Mariah Carey on loop. That might make some of you guys panic, but don't fear. I'm here to tell you things you should do before the DLC update comes and steals another couple hours of your life waiting for it to update. If you have not completed either of Paldea's decks or Kitakami's decks, do it. Some of you may have not completed the Paldea for full on shiny and stuff, but completing the decks gives you more goodies than just the shiny and glimmering charm. It gives you those precious apricorn balls. Speaking of those Kurt specialties, if you didn't know, they appear in Porto Marianda Marketplace. So if you use some of them up, go there to get some restock to catch particularly special Pokemon that drop in the next DLC. Also, go to the market and stock up on every kind of Pokeball. If you're a Dex completing fanatic, as I am in these modern games, that's a must before the DLC drops. And if you realize you are flat broke, here's a couple of options to fix that. Number 1, find Billionaire and follow him and his wife around both Kitakami and Paldea, draining their wallets completely dry to earn a couple of extra goodies. Number 2, 5-star or higher raids. I mean, if you're into shiny hunting, you should already be grinding those to the bone for juicy Herba Mystica. Money just happens to be an extra reward sometimes. And if you haven't been shiny hunting, well, do some of that in these games. It's incredibly accessible and enjoyable to do. Make sure you get all your personal favorites and some other memorable hunts like Ditto and Zorua before that DLC drops. And while waiting those incredibly fast but long days before the DLC drops, I'll be here weekly. So if you don't want to miss any of my content, be sure to click that subscribe button. Also, you could like it too. I don't know if it does much, but it does boost my self-esteem. Though this sounds a bit odd and off topic, maybe put the Switch down for a bit and go back to your old DS and 3DS games. Shiny hunt on those a bit. Go through memory lane and transfer whatever you want to be accessible through your Switch games and home ASAP, because the online service for Bink will be closing down in early April next year, which is not as time sensitive as the DLC, but definitely something you should do sometime soon before it gets too late. But it's never too late to complete side quests within Scarlet and Violet, though this is considered part of completing the Pokedex, catching both the Ruinous Quartet and the Loyal 3. Those are things you should absolutely do. They are shiny locked, so unless you want to reset for 0 IVs, it's probably time to go get them. Have you done the parent side quest yet? Do it! Tons of fun and something you should completely do before the next DLC. And now you're running out of things to run around and do in the games, but how about deciding how to do your run through of the DLC? I believe we can expect max levels to be about the same they were in the first half of the DLC, so coming up with a challenge run like using only DLC Pokemon or doing a shiny badge quest within the second half of the DLC could spice things up, especially if you're someone like us who owns over 50 max level and Eevee shiny Pokemon built especially for raids, or don't. Maybe you just let your game box collect dust and you take a break from it until the DLC drops. Don't worry about being a completionist, or maybe you've already done everything you could think of. At the end of the day, a game is what you make of it, and should be enjoyed by you. If you enjoy shiny hunting, shiny hunt. If you enjoy the completionist type of events within these games, do those. If you just like running around to complete the story and then shelf the game forever, do that too. At the end of the day, whatever you want to do before the second DLC drop is your decision, and as long as you're happy with it, do it. I mean, of course, if you haven't shiny hunted for it yet, that's a bit of a crime, but who am I to stop you? I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye!